want to make sure that you know how to determine whether or not your hair is low porosity or not. Very simple. Take a glass of water and take a hair strand.
Hey guys, Karen from Curl House. I am a licensed cosmetologist specializing in natural hair. I'm also a certified trichologist, so I also specialize in hair loss and scalp disorders. And today we are going to talk about low porosity hair and how to maintain low porosity hair. Well, first of all, what is low porosity hair? Porosity is your hair's ability to absorb and retain moisture. So when we're thinking about our hair strand has 3 layers. It has a cuticle layer, which is the outer layer. The inner layer is the cortex, and then some of us have a medulla. When it comes to moisturizing our hair, it is important for us to know whether or not we're low porosity or high porosity. Low porosity hair, the cuticle layer or the outer layer of that hair strand is closed. So it makes it difficult for moisture or water to penetrate to the hair shaft to moisturize it from the inside out. Now, let me give you a much better example of what low porosity hair looks like. Come on with me into my kitchen. So I want to use these blinds as an example to show you what low porosity hair looks like. Now these blinds represent the cuticle layer. The cuticle layer is the outer layer of hair. Very similar to these blinds, cuticle layer has layers. And with low porosity hair, the cuticle layer lies flat, similar to this. So can you see with that cuticle layer lying flat, how it is more difficult for moisture to penetrate into the inside of the hair strand? So if I take this water bottle and spray it, you can see how difficult it is for water to penetrate in a closed hair cuticle. That is low porosity hair. It is difficult for moisture to get on the inside of the hair strand. Now with high porosity hair looks like this. High porosity hair, the cuticle layer is open. So with high porosity hair, can you see how much easier it is for water to absorb into the hair strand? But it goes into the hair strand quickly, but it leaves or exits just as quickly. So high porosity hair, I know we're not talking about that today. I promise you, I'll put a video out on how to maintain high porosity hair. I'm gonna give you some tips on what moisturizers are best to maintain low porosity hair. I want to make sure that you know how to determine whether or not your hair is low porosity or not. Very simple. Take a glass of water and take a hair strand. I know you can't see this hair strand, but take the hair strand and put it on the inside of the water. If the hair strand floats, so if it stays at the top of the water, that means your hair is low porosity, meaning it takes a while for your hair to absorb moisture. But if your hair strand floats down to the bottom, that means it's high porosity and it's taken up a lot of moisture very quickly. Another way you can determine whether or not your hair is high porosity or low porosity hair takes a long time to get wet. Or sometimes low porosity hair, when you wet your hair, you may see like beads of water on your hair because it just takes a long time for it to get wet. That's another way you can determine whether or not your hair is high or low porosity. And your porosity level will also determine what you do with your hair. Now, what type of moisturizer should you use? Moisturizers fall in 3 categories: water-based liquid moisturizers, water-based creams, and water-based butters. So low porosity hair, as you saw in that demonstration, your cuticle layer is closed. So the easiest way to get more moisture into that cuticle layer is using something that has a high concentration of water. Typically, products that have a high concentration of water are sprays. High concentration of water, followed by creams, and then butters would be last. So when you have low porosity hair, I'm gonna recommend, if you're not doing this already, now, side note, If you're already doing something that works, you keep doing what you're doing. But if you want to try something different, if your hair just doesn't feel moisturized enough, and start incorporating more liquid-based moisturizers into your hair regimen. Because again, liquid-based, more water, it is easier for more water or liquid-based leave-in conditioners, moisturizers to penetrate the hair strand, the cuticle, than it would be like a thicker cream. So make sure your leave-in conditioners and your moisturizers have high levels of humectants in them. Humectants are ingredients that help your hair to retain moisture, such as like glycerin is one, aloe vera is another, honey is another. Those are examples of humectants. Make sure that your moisturizers have these ingredients in them, because that is what is also going to help your hair to retain that moisture. So the next step after you have properly moisturized your hair, then you have to seal that moisture in. That means you're going to take a sealing oil and apply it over your moisturized hair to keep it moisturized longer. So here's an example. This is water and oil. So you can see in this example that the water and the oil, they don't mix, and the oil provides a barrier over the water. So in terms of your hair, when your hair is moisturized with a water-based product and you place an oil over the moisturized hair, it's going to keep your hair moisturized longer. So the type of oil that you use to seal does matter, because some oils are penetrating oils. You want to use oils that are going to create that barrier and that do not seep into the hair strand. So some examples of some great oils for sealing is olive oil is great. Jojoba oil is lighter for those of you who have thinner hair and don't want to apply that heavier oil. Grapeseed oil is great if you have thinner hair as well. So those are a few. So if you are using a water-based product with a high liquid water content, a liquidy leave-in conditioner moisturizer, and sealing it in with the oil, your low porosity hair should be feeling fabulous. I hope these tips help you. For more tips, make sure you subscribe to my channel. And until we talk again, stay fabulous.